It's Wild941, wild941.com. Joey Franchise here. Interesting story with the guy I have next to me. I remember opening up, doing a DJ set for Division. This was like what, probably like a year?
Now I'm surprised you even mentioned that.
Yeah,
right now, I'm like,
no,
Division.
but it's crazy because you actually like were hanging with us. We had just met that night, and I knew you were like I knew you were politicking. We had a brief conversation. I know you talked to the guys from Division and whatnot, and we just always kind of like sporadically kept in touch. Yeah. By the way, this is Nino Blu from Orlando.
What up?
And interesting guy, man. You got an interesting story. I've seen you pop up at a few of my events. And, you just show nothing but love. And it's just like, I respect it because you're a really humble dude.
Yeah, thank you.
No doubt. And please, man, just, this is the first time, like, Tampa is getting to know you. Or, maybe the people right now viewing are getting a chance to meet who you are. So, please give us your story, man, before we get into the juice.
Yeah. My name's Nino Blu. I'm a young man raised out here in Orlando, Florida. I'm Peruvian. Born in Los Angeles, California, and just trying to make the best music that the world has ever had. That's like my mission right now. I'm trying to be one of the best, one of the greatest. One day. Like I don't want to say like, oh, I'm the best, greatest now. I just feel like I'm gonna have the records and I'm gonna have the sound that is gonna show and prove to the people that have came before me. That's what I really want to do.
And that's what's up. And when did music become a thing for you, dude?
When I was like 12 years old, so that's been like quite some time now. So I started doing music when I was 13, fully going into it when I heard Tupac like for the first time, and I was hearing like Bone Thugs and Harmony and Busta Rhymes and Nas One Mic and stuff, and I'm like listening on the bus, and I'm just thinking like, man, I really want to do this for like, just to try it out and see where it can take me. And I started battle rapping in like middle school, and people like ended up liking what I was doing, so I just stuck with it, and then I made songs, and then I started meeting the right people, and I started meeting more right people, and then I kept going through struggle, and now I hit a viral moment and did all these crazy things, and I'm like, yo, it's wild where life takes you, man. So it's crazy.
Nah, no cap at all. Now, when did how old are you now?
I'm 28 now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this, man. Like you had a viral moment, but before that, like you were in New York. So you were in New York, and actually you were interning for Charlemagne the God.
Yo, no. Well, this whole story with that was that I was set up to intern for him. I was like told like, yo, like, I'm like, yo, can I intern for you directly? And he said like, yeah, we could do that. I'll find something for you to do, kind of thing. And I went up there, and he had some stuff that was going on with him, so he had to push it back. So I was like already there trying to get the internship with him, like, dang, like, how'd this happen? Like, what's going on? So I decided to stay for the time being of an internship, like 5 months. But I already quit my job in Orlando. I already quit everything that I had to do, cut ties with everyone, like, yo, goodbye, I'm leaving. And I left. So like I feel like I was already there, so I stayed. And by me staying there, even when I didn't have the internship, like I came across Kanye, and that ended up being like one of my biggest moments of my life. Like it's crazy to even think that in a time where I felt like, dang, like I feel like I'm losing right now. Like how did I not get this internship with like this guy I respect so much and respects me as well? Like I thought I lost. And then next thing you know, the whole thing just turned around for me. 3 months, 4 months going in.
Now, what was like that? Now with the Charlemagne, the possible internship with Charlemagne, was it that he already had a position filled? Or?
Yeah, kind of like that. It was like, basically what happened was he was going through his own like things. He was having like he had a newborn coming on the way. He had like a bunch of other projects he's working on, his book. Like the timing just didn't fall into place anymore. So he just felt like we can still talk and we can still like speak to each other, but I don't have anything like concrete in writing, because I was going to try to use it for school. I was going to try to use that for like a credit, like, oh, just sign off on these internship papers. It'd be dope because I don't have to go to class. I could just sit back and watch you do radio stuff, know. But really, I was trying to make him see that I was going to become one of the greatest rappers, one day. Because that's what he's really big on. Charlemagne's really big on, like, you got to be great. You got to be like concrete. You got to be the man, with lyricism, so that's what I always wanted to get out of Charlemagne, was like, I'm gonna do this, like, watch. And then when it happened, it was almost like, oh, like,
he actually put you on the spot at one time and have you bust a freestyle. Like,
yeah, he did.
What was that like?
He did that twice.
For real?
Yeah, he did that twice. The first time was with Envy. That was the first time he brought me in, and he was just like looking at me like, yo, like, I walk in, he's like, yo, rap for Envy right now. And I'm just like, like my whole mind was set on just talking to him, because I had this big speech plan. So I just had like a verse, threw it out there, and just like in the footage, I'm more focused on Charlemagne. Envy's like on his phone, just kind of just chilling, like whatever. But I'm like really just focusing. Like that moment was hectic for me, because I'm looking at Charlemagne. Like, even when he's like rap for Envy, I don't really care, about like Envy. I'm like over here looking at like Charlemagne, like, yo, I'm here to talk to you, So I just like rap my little thing, and that led to him bringing me in the studio again. And then he had his IG live on, and then he brings me in the room where they do the Breakfast Club interviews, and he starts filming me on the spot, like, yo, rap for all of my IG live fans right now. And then that time I was even more prepared, because I kind of had a feeling like, this is kind of how he gets down. I had like a speaker in my pocket, and I whip out the speaker or whatever.
You
and
come prepared. You come equipped.
At that
you like
time,
ready to freestyle on the spot.
I don't have a speaker on me now, but I had like a speaker right there. I was like, yo, boom. And he's like, is that a speaker in your hand? I'm like, yeah. Turn on the little sound, like, doop, and even everyone in the IG live was like, yo, like, because he was trying to be like, oh, I'm gonna put you on the spot. I'm a spot. And then like I was more prepared than he thought. Like, So that one went well. And then that led me into wanting to get the internship with him. I was like, yo, like, we're already becoming like friends. You're already showing me things. Like, maybe I could just work for you and see what's up. I'll do it for free, and you can sign for my papers. And that led me to New York. And New York was a whole monster in itself. New York is crazy. I'm not from New York, Like, I'm Los Angeles from young age to going to Orlando, Florida, raised up, and like New York is like a whole nother monster, taking me out of my comfort zone. Like, yo, everyone there, the people, the music, the lifestyle, the environment. I was listening to that Jay-Z song, the "Cough Up a Lung, Where You From, Marcy, son." Like, I was listening to that. Like, every time my bus would go through Marcy, I'd just be like, yo, like, you got
in the moment,
bro. I listened to that song on repeat out there. So yeah, it was crazy embracing those moments. I went to the Biggie Memorial and like looked at like Biggie before all that shit happened, like on that big painting wall they had of him in Brooklyn.
Man, this is Wild 94.1, wild941.com. We're here with Nino Blu. And listen, man, and if you the name, rings a bell, like this dude went viral one day. I remember this morning, that one morning when just scrolling through Instagram, I woke up and I'm like, yo, like, this is the kid Nino from Orlando, like, and he's with Kanye in New York. Like, it blew my mind. Like, I literally hit up my boy who was actually with us that night, my boy OVO Angel, and we're like, yo, this kid's with Kanye. Like, yo, we were bugging out. Like, and it was crazy. And now go into that moment, because this is at the time when Kanye was like kind of running around New York, and there was the weird Trump stuff that he was talking about. He was just going on his typical Kanye rants.
Well, it was actually before all that.
It was?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's so many of them, and it's just like...
It was the same day, actually.
Okay.
Same day to next day. It was like SNL was that day. That day that I met him, he had a Saturday Night Live interview he was doing. Or not interview, the performance he was doing with 070. It's like, this
with Shake, right?
Yeah, Shake. Yeah, he's got this dope artist, this fire artist. She's from Jersey. Yeah, she's sick.
Oh yeah, Shake. Yeah, I remember Shake. She used to run with Jules.
I'm listening to a lot of Shake music right now. I'm really inspired by that. So
we're here with Nino Blu on Wild 94.1. Joey Franchise here, and at that point in time when you met Kanye and the video went viral. You said in the video that you were homeless.
Yes.
So you did hit a rock bottom in the city.
Yeah.
Please explain that process, man. Yeah. Like and then leading up to the Kanye running into you in the streets.
Okay, so what happened was like I was with trying to speak to Charlemagne like maybe 3 days a week. That was like our agreement. No internship. All right, we'll talk for 3 days a week. Is that fair? Kind of situation. I'm like, all right, I'm doing that. Next door, there's a Roxy hotel, okay, that I became cool with everybody with, all right? That hotel plays a big part in this story. I'm meeting these, these door guys and the servers. I'm becoming friends with them because I'm talking to Charlemagne. So I talk to these guys next door at the Roxy Hotel. My car breaks down, like $1,000 to fix. I have like $300. I'm like, Dad, that's not gonna happen. That sucks. The place where I'm living kicks me out. That was my living money and situation. My car was the way I was making money doing Uber. So I'm losing money with a little bit of money. I didn't expect that to happen, and I didn't expect to get kicked out either. I'm like in a 3-day span. That made me, like, I couldn't just drive home, like, to, like, my mom's house or wherever, like, I felt like I could. So I was, like, literally stuck in New York. No place to, like, just go or whatever. And New York's a cold place. I did put out, like, a Facebook thing, like, yo, can anyone help me? Is anyone in New York that can help me? And no one said anything. So I talked to my mom, like, well, it's kind of funny, right? It's like, this sucks. This is horrible, but my birthday is, like, 2 days away. I'm not about to, like, let that, like, ruin, like, my moment of, like, just, like, being born in this world, So I smiled about it the whole time. I tried to smile about it. Like, all right, I don't know what I'm going to do. 6 days go by. I'm sleeping in, like, a bus terminal in Port Authority on the lower floor, on the lower deck or whatever, in a sleeping bag to just stay comfortable, because people would wait for their buses overnight. Or there was, like, a Planet Fitness 24-hour one where I'd sleep in the locker room because nobody would be there. So I would, like, go in the spot and just kind of, like, crash for, like, 4 hours. The 6th day, a photographer tells me where Kanye is going to be. And when I was going to pick up my sleeping bag from the hotel next door to the spot, because the doorman was holding my sleeping bag because he didn't want me to carry it everywhere I went, like, it's going to strain your back and stuff. Like, so I took the sleeping bag, and the place where the photographer told me where it was at was 9 minutes walking away from the hotel. Like, a walk, 9 minutes? Bro, I do that, like, in my sleep in New York. Let me just walk over there, and I see Kid Cudi, and I see Mike Dean. And Mike Dean was actually the first person to talk to me.
Really?
Yeah.
What was that conversation like?
It was great. He gave me $100.
That's dope.
Yeah, he gave me $100 bill and was like, yo, bro, like, like, you remind me of, like, Gashi. You remind me of Gashi. Like,
that's my dog.
Oh, yeah, that's dope. Yeah, he's like, yo, your hunger reminds me of Gashi or whatever, That's how, he got discovered like that, so just keep it up. And I just felt like, I'm like, oh, Mike Dean's here and Cudi's here. Kanye's here. Kanye comes in with Kim, paparazzi, everyone's already there, so they just kind of just, like, walk in, and I end up sleeping down the road. It was, like, already, like, 3 in the morning. I couldn't really, like, go back to the Port Authority bus terminal, and I had to, like, get a ticket and all this, like, crazy stuff. So I just, like, figure I'd just sleep for, like, 3 hours. I wake up at, like, 6:30 in the morning around there. I'm walking back down the direction. I see more people waiting outside this building. It was, like, they had, like, late registration and graduation vinyls in their hand. And I'm like, all right, cool. One guy was like, yo, Kanye's about to walk out right now. So he walks out, and I end up just rapping to him. I end up seeing him, and I tell him, like, hey, like, my life right now is at a crazy, like, I don't know how this is, like, I lost everything. And I just want to rap to you. If there's anything that's going to make me feel better, it's going to be rapping to you. That's so crazy. And just seeing, like, if you like it or not. I put the Lift Yourself beat on because I had a speaker on. So I put
Scoop diddy poop.
Yep, because there was no verse on there. I had a verse already written a little while ago, like months ago, and I showed it to him. He's like, I like your energy. And then we sit down on this bench. He was by himself, no security, no nothing, and we were just chilling there, like, yo, like, I tried to get an internship with Charlemagne, and it didn't work out. I'm just, like, venting to him, like, yo, like, this, like, it's just crazy how, like, I'm talking to you right now, and he's like, I know Charlemagne. He tries to FaceTime Charlemagne. Didn't pick up, whatever. I rapped to him again because I asked him, like, can I rap to you again? And he said, yo, you just hop in the car with me. After that, after those 2 verses I did, after that, he was just like, hop in the car. So I get in his car on the front, and then I put my stuff in the back. He's in the back seat, and I'm just looking out the window praying to God. Oh yeah, like, oh yeah. What if he's taking me to like his evil lair or something? You know, like, yo, am I being like Kanye, like kidnapped into the
Kanye kidnapped?
Yo, it's funny because everyone was like in my DMs was like, yo, is there an Illuminati? Is there this? Is there that? Did you like? What happened, man? Tell me if there's an Illuminati. I'm like, man. There is. I'm just like joking, like, you know, I'm just joking with them, but like, it was such a crazy interaction. Like, just to say that, like, I was in the car with Kanye West. Kanye West, to me, it's like, that's like my dream come true. I'm in the car talking about, I'm gonna take you to the studio, and we're gonna listen to music. I want to show you beats. I want to show you my album. And I listened to the whole album before Africa.
Okay.
I listened
that wasn't the Ye album, right? That was.
I listened to Yandhi.
The Yandhi album. What was like some advice he gave you? And I know you guys sitting there like kind of broing out in the studio.
He well with him it was more like it wasn't more so like advice that he gave me, because I've always thought about if I ask a great advice, you know, it's impossible for them to see exactly what I'm going through at this moment right now. You know what I mean? Like, so sometimes I tend to not ask for advice. I just let them kind of give as they're talking, you know, because who knows what your advice might give. It could be like very vague. I've had those like moments, you know, where it's very vague and I'm like, all right, you know what? I feel like I've always known that. But Kanye brought me more into like how he goes about being in the studio. You know, he was like showing me advice, almost like showing me how he was. That was what I was learning from him. He was bringing me into his world and showing me like, this is how I do things, you know, this is how I work. Like, I got to see things that him building his songs and like how he kind of goes about it, and it makes me feel like extra special, because like I can't even begin to think that, wow, like I'm one of the few people that will ever get to experience something like that. You know, it felt like I was in a movie. It felt like I was like in some like, he had like the Guardians of the Galaxy playing like as big as the movie that was playing. He played it, and all you hear is the album behind. We're watching that. Like, he liked the aesthetic of that. Yeah, that's deep. That was cool. He told me, we are the Guardians. Nino, we are the Guardians. It sounds crazy when I say it like that.
I mean,
yeah, but like he's like, we are the Guardians of the
Dude, I'm like on a whole nother, like, I see the visual. Like, you talking about it, I could just picture that.
I'm shook at this point, though. Like, I know right now I seem calm, but at that moment, I'm just like in my heart, I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? I'm here with Kanye. I don't have a place to stay. He just posted me on his Instagram and his Twitter. Like, it wasn't like a just like, you bring me in, whatever. You put me on your platform and you put my name as a caption. And that was it. It was Kanye West, right next to your name, Nino Blu. Bro, talk about like a moment of triumph in tragedy kind of like situation. Like, how does that happen? God, has to be something out there that was looking out for me. It was the worst. No car, no place to live. He puts that post out, everyone helps me out. Bro, like, I was done. I was good. I was good after that post. I was good. That's so crazy. I was good.
Tell you, even when I saw that post, man, I was just like, I can't. And at that point, I didn't want to bother you or anything like that, because I figured you were being overwhelmed with so many messages, so many texts.
It would have been impossible. I tried, bro. Thousands of DMs going at the speed of light. I could not do it. I tried going through them, and I'm like, I was giving myself a headache trying to get through all of them.
You seem really calm in the situation. Like, you really like.
People tell me that.
It's like kind of, you were very, very like on point. Like, you weren't like, you saw that moment, and where a lot of people might have got flustered. Like you pretty much handled it like a G.
Like the words just kind of came out, right?
Yeah, fell out. Like
yeah, I mean that's how I feel. Like I feel like me being around Charlamagne. That's why I do feel like everything happens for like a reason, or like maybe the steps in your life happen. I feel like me being around Charlamagne exposed me to more artists. Being around the radio station and seeing like Wiz Khalifa walk by or whatever, that I just became almost like immune to like I was getting comfortable being in that world. So when I saw Kanye, it was almost like, yo, like I am ready to speak to you as if I've seen you thousands of times before. Like I'm ready. Like when we were in the studio speaking, I spoke to him like he was just like a friend I've known my whole life. We were just talking like back and forth like just like friends. It felt like I knew him like very well, and it felt like he knew me, the way he was welcoming me to everyone around. And he was like, yo, this is Nino, he's a rapper, yo, he's born the same day as Lil Wayne, like he's like the man, like he's just bigging me up. He gave me soup, he gave me smoothies.
What kind of smoothie was it?
It felt like a really rich, like
very rich smoothie?
Rich kiwi, like probably the richest kiwi pomegranate thing you'd ever like find from the rare. It could have been from like Whole Foods or something for all I know.
From the islands of Fiji.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like yo, it's Panera bread soup. It's nothing crazy. I'm over here thinking like, yo, I'm sure it's something special, but like he was eating the soup and the smoothie, and he gave me the same thing he was eating. So I was just like, yo, like we're eating the same thing right now. Like we're just talking.
Yo, you can legit write a book on this, right?
I feel like
this is like my day with Kanye. Like, dude,
I feel like I could.
You can write a whole book because the way you're describing everything right now is like it's so like I can see it. I can see it as if I'm right there.
It's weird, right? I just feel like how do those things really happen though? Like I really like could have never went to that spot.
Imagine if you had never said anything in the first place. Like if you had never if you didn't take that tip you had from the photographer and went, and was about that action.
Yeah. Or even just ask the photographer at that moment.
Right.
Because I was just like, my life sucks. This guy just took a picture of Kanye at a fashion show. Let me just see if he'll give me some information. And he was like, I'm not give you information. That's like, my information costs money. Like, he was very standoffish about it. So I was like, all right. And then he just gives it to me out of nowhere. Like, yo, like, here you go. Here's the information. Consider that like my free information. 1 second, one person. So like I think it's super cool like how that like all turned around. So everyone offered me a place to stay. Everybody was like, yo, you can stay with me, stay with me, stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. Bro, this was crazy. Like and like I used that money I saved to get my car fixed, and
that's awesome, man.
Got out of there, man. I got out of there. It was crazy.
So you can honestly say that Kanye got you out of a jam.
Really got me out of a jam, and even more of a jam in the future, because like now it's like I'm consistently being like it's like consistent like work is always being brought to the table now. My email is filled with beats now. Wow. Every day. Beat producers like we're on the move constantly now. It's like I'm trying my best to everything that's coming with it is a beautiful thing to me. He helped me in a way where I wanted this for a long time. I know everyone probably wants you to be like the biggest thing after like a quick cosign kind of thing, but it's like this is like still like a get it out the mud kind of grind. If anything, now I need to use the tools that Kanye gave me and work even harder, to take it to the next step.
Now with the video going viral and you having this, this being on the cusp of, fame through social media. Has Charlamagne reached out to you?
Yeah. We talked to each other right that day. He told me what was going on. Like at first he was just like, what's going on? But he knew what was going on. Cause I was like happy. I was like, yo, Charlamagne, bro, like you're not gonna believe what happened, and I need your advice. And we actually spoke on the phone that day. And he gave me some words of wisdom, and he told me that Kanye texted him, and he told him, yo, thanks for taking care of my boy Nino. I have him under my wing. And I'm just like, dope. I'm just like on the phone like, nice. Like, nice. Like, I'm with that, you know. I like that. Like, I left a great impression, you know, and I like that he's a good guy and he kept his promise with me and like did all these things for me. Like, I think it's super cool, super nice. I hate that everyone like him though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they mess with him a lot, you know. Like, people always are trying to bash him, but I'm just like, let's just focus on the music, man. Focus on the music. For me, he was a really like kind individual, you know. Like, not rude, not weird, not awkward. Like, the guy was just super cool, freshest guy ever, man. The shoes, he had the Yeezys on and had the whole get up. I was like, this is Kanye West. College dropout, late registration, graduation, 808s. Yo, the list goes on, you know? So, I don't know. I think it's like, it's cool that my respect level is even at an all-time high right now. Because it's like I was telling people that, you know, something's going to happen one day. One day for me, something is going to happen. And I believed it so much in my core that I would get sick to my stomach like almost every other day. Like, yo, it's going to happen. I know it. And then it happens. And now it's up to me to keep making it happen, you know.
I respect that.
Yeah, Florida, man. Florida. I used to feel like, man, like, you know, Florida, like Rick Ross, to me, is like lyrically like one of the best in Florida.
Oh, yeah, no question.
You know, there's Rick Ross. There was XXX. Like, I thought he was super dope, you know. It's a shame that he like had to like leave so soon. And who else? Like, I know Ace Hood, you know, a bunch of other people in Florida, like, but now it's just grown exponentially, like, throughout the underground scene too. Like, Florida really is like rocking like crazy. Before it would just be Miami. Now it's like it's all over. It's scattered all over the place, you know. So I wonder how that looks like coming from like up north or like the West Coast. Like, this peninsula looking thing is just like taking over music right now.
And you know, not for nothing is great. And you know, me being from up north in Connecticut and being next to, you know, Boston and New York, and, you know, traveling back and forth between those states. We're sandwiched pretty much between those states. I mean, you just see the grind is somewhat similar. I mean, you see a lot of New York artists doing their thing, and these local guys are like, you know, the man in the city. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, those are those guys. And it's like that here in Florida. Like, you know, the guys that, you know, that walk amongst us, you know, that got a wave going, is like, these are the guys, and they're repping and putting on for the state. Yeah,
for sure. Like, I feel like Florida like has like my heart. You know, I was raised out here, and being born in Los Angeles kind of brings another dynamic to my music as well. You know, because being in Los Angeles, you're really like prone to listening to a lot of Tupac. And that's what I was like raised on like my whole life, was like Tupac, beginning, going into Biggie, going into Nas, going into Jay-Z and stuff. So with Florida, I think for me, it's like, I don't know if we have like a legend yet in Florida, and I just want to be like that, like top 3, top 2. I want to be in there, man. I want to be in there. So Florida to Los Angeles, like I think that's like a good way to describe how I want my music to sound. Sunsets in Los Angeles, like straight up like heat nighttime in Florida, you know, like those like nights. Like I want to make like albums about like I don't know, like deep, like soulful love, meanings, introspective, like searching for who you are as a person. Like, I want to make music like that. That's what I want to make. That's what I came up on, you know. And I just don't really feel like we're not getting too much of that in the music industry right now. We're kind of just getting like some like blah 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 blah. There you go, toss it out there. But I haven't really had any like food for thought in a long time. It feels like, to me, I always got to go back to like early 90s rap and get that stuff. So I want to do that. I want to really rap, you know. I want like the lyricists and hip hop to like look at me and be like a little shook. I want them to feel like, dang, that guy like really is like rapping. And if he's
you a rapper,
I want to be a rapper, you know. And I want to do melodies too. Like, I want to be able to kill it like on just a melodic song, and then be a rapper. I want to find a great balance between the two. So that's my quest. I want people to just be like, oh snap, like if we don't gear up, this guy is gonna be the one, you know. So I'm inspired by the greatest. Drakes, the 50 Cents, the Kendrick Lamars, everyone that's like trying to push the music culture further, So I'm looking for the best producers that are trying to push the music culture further. If you have the same exact beat as everyone else, I don't want that beat. I just don't want it. I want something that's just like guitar based to like you really took your time with it, not you just copied the same Metro Boomin drum kit, like whatever. Like I'm not with it. Everyone wants to make this hit. Everyone's in it for money and for fame and all that stuff. But like that's one thing I learned, and that's one thing I'm glad. When I was hitting 2 million views on every platform, like I was on Double XL, iHeartMedia, World Star, Say Cheese Digital, every single one. I was just thinking to myself, like, all right, it's all at 1 million, but like I'm still who I am. Like these numbers and fame and people, I don't really like all that stuff. I'm not really into like a bunch of people just coming at me all at one time. It was very weird and overwhelming, but super cool. Right. But it was just kind of like, I don't want to be like famous. I just want to be known as one of the greatest artists. I want my music to live that much, And other people I feel like are doing it for the wrong reasons these days. They want cash flow and stuff. But like with good music will come cash flow. You don't have to be like talking about money and if you're gonna talk about money, like talk about it in a very like in a deeper way than just I got my bands and $100,000, you know what I mean? Like I don't like you're into like lyrical stuff. I know I've seen like you have more respect for like the top tier artists, and I'm actually out here in Tampa trying to figure it out right now too. I'm trying to figure out like what are we gonna do right now with like these these beats, like how are we gonna make this like keep going? Like as far as the albums that I'm working on, I'm working on 2 things right now. I'm working on a mixtape and I'm working on an album. One album right now is produced by a guy that produces for French Montana. I'm gonna try to work with Ayo. He does stuff for Bryson Tiller and stuff. So like I'm gonna try and like really do that. But that's where I'm going with my music direction right now. Really like deep melodies and raps, heavy rap music. So that's where I'm going with right now.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Nino Blu, appreciate the time, brother, man.
I appreciate you, man. Like Joey French, best, the greatest,
Thanks,
greatest, the greatest, hardworking man. So keep a lookout for him for sure.
No doubt, man. Keep living in that dream. Keep living that dream, man. Keep living in the moment.
Yeah, dope.
Swad 94.1.
Yeah, dope. Good looks. My dog. Yeah, good looks, bro.